signal that one there with our receiver. And you can see the colouring changes there, but we go up here. Now when carts go fast, it will change instantly, which means we could actually use these here to control each one of those. Hey! How's it going? And welcome back to this creative series to play with rails. Now in the last couple of episodes we were working on the subway station down here, and I think it's looking really cool. But there's one small problem with it. There's no trains. And we've got two options here. We can either use minecarts, just standard minecarts, or we can go into the steam locomotives, which require coal or charcoal. So what I thought on this episode we'd do is work on a tree farm to get us some charcoal and burning material. And I thought, since it's a single player world and creative, let's go big. So let's get started. Okay, so I've come about 800 blocks, maybe 1,000 blocks away from the station, because over here is a really cool island, which I thought we could use, because it's got so many trees on it currently, it would make a really good place to have a tree farm. Just loading, okay. Now, what I was thinking, I will start cutting down, or getting rid of some of these trees, and then I'll come back and we can start placing down track and showing you how things work. So we're back in a second. Okay, so tidied up a little bit. It's not great, but of course we're putting in our tree farm, so most of these trees will go away anyway. So of course what we're going to need to do first is place down some track, and I'm just thinking a nice long trunk line, probably around about here, should do the trick. Just run this along there. And of course this is going to take up the whole island, but for now I'm just going to run it around here and join that up. So I didn't have that in there. Railcraft, we need there is the maul, and what that will let us do is change the direction of the track. We'll need a crowbar to do that. So what the maul does is, as you can see, when I clicked on here, it placed in the turning track. Hit it again, it does a Y track. Hit it again, it does a straight through crossover track. Hit it again, it goes back to normal. Okay, so we want to go that way, so we hit the crowbar to face it that way. We'll do a very similar thing over here. Taking out these guys, so we've got room. Once again, of course, this will be, I'll probably change this around shortly. This is really just for demonstration purposes. Place that there. Oh, look at that, perfect. Cool. Now, so that's that piece, right? So we've got the rail down. Now, what we need to do is, I'm going to have to set up first a cart assembler, because I was thinking about using a Steve's cart. And I know I've said that I didn't want to do too much creative in this world, but I'm going to add a creative upgrade to this, because it makes it instant. So you guys don't have to wait around for things to be made. Stick that there, go into here. Now we're going to have ourselves a hull. It's probably the one that's going to have the most room. We will need a woodcutter. Some form of storage. In this case, we're going to use side chests. We will need an advanced smelter, so that we can smelt up the wood and turn it into fuel, which goes into the coal engine. How convenient that I had that next. I think that's all we should need from there. Let's get rid of the creator mode. I don't know why I've got multiple stuff around here now. Yeah, I think that's all we need for the moment. So we should be able to go assemble, and it should be really quick. Actually longer than I thought. You could probably get away with a normal hull. You'll just have to decrease the level of woodcut you've installed. So we'll take that out though, and that will just put us on the track. Let's make sure it runs. Like that, cool. And we will need to, of course, put some charcoal in here. I don't want to put the fuel in just yet because we want to change this to be engine. We will need to put some oak in there as well. Place that into there. As you can see, it will put that into there. It will tell you it smelts up and becomes charcoal. We also want to make it so it only does one stack. Everything else will stay in here. Place that in there, and hopefully that'll let go. Looks like it did. So that's the Steve's cart. So what we're going to do next is we want to place down a cargo manager about there. And we will need to put an advanced rail there. Cool, it stops. Go into here and configure it. So I'm going to turn all these off to start with. So disabled. Not what I wanted. Turn back. No. Blue. Disabled. Green. Disabled. And we'll leave yellow because the yellow side is this side here. So that's the side we want to pull stuff out of. Change that to pull mode. I actually think I might make that pull from. Oh, we need to actually make that in the storage lot. We don't want to take our wood out. That would be bad. We want to change this, however, to be saplings, and we'll put it back on yellow temporarily, just in case it collects anything. Just in case, so it takes both of those in. We could, of course, configure this up differently later, but I think that will do us for now. And we took all of its fuel out. Let's give it a bit more. Nope. Off it goes. Cool. Turn around. Pass. So of course that's setting that up to do, and then we'll just go back and forward. For now though, I'm actually going to turn them off because I don't want to waste fuel. Because there's nothing to take down. Next thing we want to do is I'm going to place down a track probably about here. I can always rearrange it later once again. Just run it up here. Run just around here. And as I said, this is going to be the whole island. So for now, we don't... I'm just going to make it very, very basic and go up here, just as an example. We can get rid of the cargo manager, we can get rid of the cart assembler, get rid of all the saplings, get rid of this guy, that guy we don't need anymore, we'll need some more track. Don't need a cargo manager, I'll get rid of those already. We will however need signals. So let's play around with these. We need from here the block relays, and we'll need signal tuner and a signal surveyor. I won't need this tuner just yet, but I'll hold on to there. We want to take this guy out, just stick it under there, like that. And one, no, I'll leave that as is. We need to hit that with a mile though, like that. And then, oops, face it the other way. Take that out, I suppose. Because we want to make a single block which goes around here. Take that out. We can now link those two together. 1, 2. Makes a block there. Go over to here. Another block there. So we'll link that to there. And so it can see along here. It will then join that together. So now this becomes the block. And if any train or any item, any cart is sitting on that piece, it will throw a signal. We want to do this here. Like that. We'll link it together as well. Like that. And then last but not least, we will also do down here. Just one of those there. Put that on top. Take it out. And link from there all the way up to here. Because once again, we are going in the order of the track, which goes this way. So that will create a signal block. If we throw down, let me just grab a normal card for an example. I don't want to confuse otherwise. Go down here, you'll see the lights turn to red, indicating that there is a cart on the track. Now you actually have two colors. You have a red color and a yellow color. The yellow is normally that the cart or the train is going that direction. So if the cart was going this way, this one here will be red because anything coming back this way would run into it. But these ones here, this one here will be yellow because in theory, unless the train in front breaks down or stops, there'd be no reason that it would hit it. So it's more of a warning to say, hey, there's something in front. We also need to, of course, convert this into a track. We'll send it that way. And I think that will do that. Next signal block we'll use, go back to signals, is we actually need a switch motor, a controller, and a receiver, and also a locking. Locking is a locking track? Yes, locking track, cool. So I put the locking track there. Actually, I need to put a receiver under it. Do I? No. Too far ahead of myself. Too far ahead. So once we've got that, so what we need to do now is put our switch actuator here. Okay, because what we want to do is say with our tuner, if anything is on... Oh, I need a controller, do I? Controller box. And we want to say if anything is connected to this, right? So if anything is currently on this track, it'll send something down here. We want to reverse that though. We actually want to set that other way around. So we'll go into this guy. And we'll say if it's yellow or green, no, green, then it means that the cart can go up here. It can choose to do whatever it wants to here, and then come back. And of course, if we had another one along here, it would be the same type of thing. So let's place one down. Change this to be if it's green. So now, if there's a train on here, it'll send it down here. The moment there's something on here, can we test that out now? So the moment something appeared on there, of course, that one turned off, and the train or the cart would then go down here because this one's open. If this one here also has something on it, we have our fallback track which goes this way. If we now turn this guy on, we'll need some more charcoal. You should be able to go up there. Now, one of the problems we're going to have, of course, is that if there is a train on this track, we're going to have problems. So what we probably need to do is set up some more relays here. We will link this one here with this one over here first, which I thought I'd already clicked on, but I must have missed it. So that covers that whole line along here. We will link that one to that one, that one to that one, and then this one. And you saw it yellow just then? Because of course there is currently a train on there. When they're stopped, they're red because it doesn't know which way they're going, and then it goes green when it goes off. So that's working perfectly. So we'll now add in a locking track, because that's the next thing we need to do. Because of course, if there are two trains on here, we don't want it to push around. In fact, let's just give that a quick demo. So if I put this here, we don't want the minecart going that way, because it's going to run into this guy. we could have a crash. Luckily, of course, it's currently fixed or stopped. What we can do is we replace. If we take out that, do I have a receiver? I think I picked up a receiver, don't I? Yep, receiver. Place that there. Place it on top, and then on top of that, we will need to link. Why is that flashing? I'm not sure why it's flashing. We will need to place probably all the way over here. Let's place a controller there, so it links into that guy. We will grab signal tuner and pair it with this receiver. And so if that's red, this should be off. It's probably a bad example actually, wasn't it? Take it off. Stick it there. So as you can see, it's yellow because there's a train on there. I'm not sure why that's flashing. I'll have to investigate that soon. Oh. Okay, let's take that out. We will place the block right back there. With that on top. We need to, of course, click that over to here. Paired now. Now it's green. So no idea what was going on there. We'll place a locking track back on there. We will link. That's already linked. So in theory, this guy should now go along here. Grab one of these. There we go. That works. So we'll then visit this here, which should, in theory, stop that. Right, so you just stop there. We get rid of the cart. He'll then be on its way. Cool. Now, one of the problems we're going to have, though, is if we've got multiple carts in here, and it all stopped here at these points, then we're going to have an issue with when it goes green, all the carts will go at once, which we don't really want. So what I'm thinking we'll do, we'll go over here a little bit, and maybe dig a little hole down here. Bit of water there. Doesn't need to be too far underground, just far enough underground that's out of the way. So probably about here should be fine. Yep, that should be fine. So what we'll do is we will, in this case, we're going to use, let's go back to our signals. And I thought what we'd use here would be the interlocks. Now the interlocks are interesting blocks. You can go 1, 2, 3 like that. And they will stop. Well, they will take one signal each. So they work as a receiver and a controller. And they'll only let one through. So let's say this one here is green, then these two won't be green. If this one's green, then these two here won't be green. And so this will never change while one of them is already green. So what we'll do is link these guys up here. So we'll go this guy. Can go over to here, and then yes. We also need to add something to detect it. Let's go cart detector. We've got any cart detectors around? What have we got? Any, that will do. Perfect. Now in theory, if I take that like that, place it like that. actually, let's put it like... We will place a controller on top. So the redstone here, this little circle thing, is facing up. There's only one side. If there's a cart next to it, then it will show as red, giving a redstone signal. The controller will read that signal and will send that back over to here. Make it the second one, and we'll actually link this to the stopping track there. And we will also need to change this so that the default aspect is red and the redstone aspect is green. That way, if there's a redstone signal coming out, then there's a cart there, and we need to send the green signal on, because these will only go green, well, that will only go green if the others are not green. So we need to have a green output. We sit down here, we should see it when it goes past. It went green for a second. And of course, I'll do the same over here. This guy, take that off for now. Hopefully, if I do it quickly enough. Signal, track, blocking track. We then link this guy. Oh, no, you've got to click on the controller, which is this side, that one. To... So it's done that weird thing again. I think what I'll do is I'll try and fix this up, because I don't know quite why it's gone yellow. And I will set up some more track. And I'll be back in a moment. Okay, I fixed that little piece up there. I just replaced it all. It seemed to fix the problem. No, I have no idea what caused it. It just started failing. But now, of course, I've linked those two up. But I've got a small problem in that this guy doesn't stop. So I don't quite know why that is. I think it's possibly because I haven't linked this up, maybe? Ah, yep, that's probably what it is. Let's link this guy to here. We'll need to place a random receiver around somewhere. Do I have a random receiver somewhere? There's a receiver there for now. Probably about like that, just out of the way, just so it doesn't flash. Alright, so now if something is on, and of course we need to change this guy to be the opposite. So if something's on here, it should send a signal. No? I wonder, let's try, do I have any redstone? Like that, place the redstone into there so it sends a signal out. This guy needs to be linked up to there. Okay, so it's green now, which means something's on here, cool. We need to send these guys on their way, because they're fighting with each other, so let's... Come on. There we go. And why have you stopped? Have you run out of power? No? Okay, still unloading. Okay. Cool, so that works. Now, of course, what should happen is if we place down a cart over here, as an example, place that down, both of them should stop because the interlock is green, which means it won't let these two through. That one stopped. And that one stopped. Okay, that works. Take that off, and only one of them can go. Oh, no. Okay, that didn't work the way I thought it would. Well, I'm going to have a little fiddle around and set up some more tracks and stuff, tidy things up a little bit, and I will be back in a moment once I've worked out how to fix it. Okay, I think I've got this sorted finally. There's a few things I've done here. You'll probably notice the first thing is that I've changed the tracks around so that the tracks now go up, they go all the way down to the end there, come back around, and then they go down underneath the ground here. They have the block relay is now here to indicate that the train is on the track. This is the same setup as before, sending it to interlock. And the interlock then sends back to the receiver that's there, which then controls the locking track. Now the reason I've done that is just to make it a little easier to work with. I have realized that I will need to move the cargo manager and the advanced detector rail probably down into this area here as a maintenance area, which is probably good anyway. Mainly because what happens is the carts from these two currently return, they go down into here, and then if nothing's on this track, they send them off that way. But that'll probably happen here, which is not ideal. So what I want to do is I'll move that there down there. It's not too major. But that didn't really fix the problem. It reduced it, but it didn't fix it. What I have since done though is I've realized why the receiver boxes connect to the interlocks. So these three here are the interlocks for each of the stopping tracks, or the locking tracks. This, however, is a receiver blocks. This is linked up to our little setup over here. So when there's nothing over there, it sends a green signal. We could probably actually get rid of... Probably don't need that stuff anymore. But of course, it will send a signal through to the receiver over here, which will stop this whole thing working. So if this is red, these do not change. If this is green, then one of these three can change across. And hopefully we'll see a cart go by soon. So it's gone green. And apparently there's nothing waiting. Okay. Not a great example. Let's stick a cart there, which will then stop, of course, all the tracks, or the carts, I should say. We'll just wait for things to return. So there's a cart going back now. These will stay red because currently there is a cart on the track. So it'll just sit there forever. You'll notice, of course, this is green because it's sending an opposite signal. Got to remember to set those up as you do them. If we take that off, it'll then let it go. Put it back. Here's the other guy there. So of course he won't go because this cart's sitting here. Might wait for him to come back. Now one of the other things I've noticed is because it's only two carts, one of these lines doesn't get as much attention as it should. Okay, so that should be both of them sitting there. Now, of course, what was happening in the previous couple of clips is when you had this situation where they're both waiting there, one of the carts would go, the controller would change to red, which would then allow any one of the other ones to turn in the interlock, which may not be the main trunk line. Whereas when, of course, we've got this receiver, if I do that, only one of them will go. So that's fixed that problem. Now, as I said, the other problem I was seeing is with this piece here. And what I was thinking, instead of using the output of this, I thought we could use a... Oh, have we run out of charcoal? We have run out of charcoal. Charcoal. Voila. Charcoal. Why is it when it's... Okay, so when it runs out of fuel, apparently it has to change directions. Which is going to confuse things completely. I've been lucky. You, my friend, I mean to be going that way. Go that way. No, that way. That way. That way. Let's go. Thank you. Right. So what I was thinking is, rather than using if the area is empty, what we could do, we probably should have some other checks in there, but we can also go, if we look at signals, there is the sequencer, which works in an interesting way. We could probably use that down here as well. In fact, look at that, I've actually got an area for it. I've been through so many options to try and get it to work. Alright, so we have our sequencer. We can put a receiver next to it. And we can link that to a controller. So if we say, okay, go up here, we'll say, okay, when... Let's put down the controller specifically for this purpose. Controller, which can use that same signal there. Click on that. We send that down to here. Every time a cart goes over it, it should trigger this to go red. Do I need to put controllers in there maybe? Like that. In that case, I need to do a bit of a demo so you can see what I'm talking about. Let's do that. We will link each one of those controllers to there, there, and I'll reach that one to there. And you can see as each cart goes past, it'll change the colour. So currently this one's active. Next cart that goes past that little area should trigger this one here. Should trigger that one then. There we go. So you can see as they go past, and it's normally because it has to be on this signal. We can make it a cart detector or something else rather than that. That might actually be a better option. Let's put a cart detector in. Requires a little more effort, but put that into there. Controller on top of it. Signal that one there with our receiver. And there, you can see the colouring changes there, but we go up to here. Now when carts go fast, it will change instantly. Which means we could actually use these here, well not the receivers, but the controllers, to control each one of those. Now the only condition, of course, is if there's a cart currently on here, we don't want to resend it around. Don't quite know how to handle that. Of course, in theory, that's most of that work done. And now, of course, I'm going to go back to extending out the amount of rail, but I think we've fixed most of that. And I could put a lot more carts on here, but as I said, I'm going to go off, I'm going to move the cargo manager, and then I'll be back. Okay, so it's been a few hours now. In fact, it's the following day, and I've finally got all the tracks laid in. As you can see, there's a few trees. The storage was full. I've since cleared it out, but I thought I'd come in and show you what it looks like when the carts get full of items and they can't take down any wood. I've added a few more carts on the track as well, and I fixed up the issue that we're seeing with the switch track. Now it includes both the controller, so if anything's on this track, plus our signal, and it's got a Project Red AND gate in the middle to indicate that if both of these are green, then it is to send to change the track. In this case here, there is a cart on the track, I'm assuming, Plus, of course, it's not currently the active track. You'll also see that down here, you can see I've got both sides running now. And right along the middle, it follows around like this. If we go into here, you can see that this is the interlocks and the... oh, that's lagging. The sequences. And we've got quite a few of them going now. Lots and lots of paths for it to take. But it seems to be doing the job. Okay, so I think I'm going to end the episode here. As you can see, the tree farm's up and running, and it's had a slight storage problem, which I have since emptied out, and we'll have to work on that in the next episode. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just go forward a little bit here, so you get a bit of idea on how big this place is. What I'm going to do is I'm going to end the episode here. Leave a thumbs up for the sheer awesomeness of the tree farm and its size. That's the whole island of trees. New to the channel and like Rails, Open Computers, or just Minecraft in general, hit that subscribe button. But otherwise, have a great day, and see ya!